Hello everyone. So today in this video I'm going to talk to you about the step-by-step ways to teach your kids uh, to read. They can be as young as 2 and a half. Like a lot of my friends and other parents whom I know, they keep asking me about how I taught Abid, my son who's 3 now, to read at the age of 2 and a half. So I would never say that it happened overnight and there's a trick that I used and it'll change your life and altogether, all of that. But there have been consistent efforts that I took over the years to make sure that he uh, achieves the certain small targets that I set for him. So I'll talk about those small targets, and hence this video will be completely about how I achieved those targets. And of course, in this video, the reason for doing this video is mainly because there are a lot of practices which are still, I mean, the schools, the teaching system has been traditionally following things which I didn't follow. So maybe that's a difference, and uh, that those little things I can reveal in this video, and it shouldn't remain a secret. I mean, why would anyone deprive? I've seen these days people make money saying that you buy our program, and within 3 months you'll see your child as young as 2 years be reading. They are actually following certain tips and tricks which uh, you know already some of the educators in other countries have been using. So it'll be wrong to say that it's a secret or something, but yes, a lot of things which I will be revealing or say discussing in this video will be slightly different from what we usually traditionally what we are used to hear from our schools and teachers. So uh, moving to our first point, which is my step one, letter sounds. So we all are in a habit of teaching our kids alphabets and letters at a very early age. We start singing A B C D E F G to them, while they're say 3-4 months only. I'm talking about parents who are really keen to educate, or who are actively involved in their kids' learning process. So I have seen a lot of parents doing that. That's good. That's fine. But if we introduce the child with letter sounds at a very early age, I think that solves that's I can easily call it a trick. Now, how do we do it? You'll say, before teaching him ABCD, how can I expect my child to know that the letter A sounds A, the letter B sounds B? I mean, it will sound like a strange thing to us because our brains are conditioned that way, that we have to teach them ABCD first, then numbers 1 2 3 4. So if we unlearn a few things and start with a new approach, because a child's mind is an open book. It's very much open to new things. They are just blank, that they're just like a piece of blank paper where you can write whatever you want. So this is a Japanese technique of teaching, where they don't start with letter names but the letter sounds, because once they know what the letter sound is, they'll easily connect the dots. And English is a strange language because we say A, but while saying apple, we sound it out as A. So it's better that the initial confusion is, overruled. So hence letter sounds before you do letter names. Now how did I do this? I made these flashcards. A, b, k. So these are letter sounds that I used to flash in front of him, my son, at the age of 8 or 9 months, if I'm not mistaken. And a lot of people laughed at me. A lot of people were like, what are you doing with a small kid? How does he know? But the the way our children surprise us, no, it's very strange. After doing this for every day consistently for just 5 minutes, just turning these flashcards, a, b, k, d, e, f, g, h, I, j, k, n, o. So on and so forth. I never expected this to happen. After doing this consistently for say a month, I only used to practice this for 5 to 10 minutes, if I'm not exaggerating at all. So after a month or so, my son started recognizing the sound and this awe sound. So whenever he saw this, then I'll again come to why I was doing it so fast. I'll explain you that also. That is my step 2. So he started identifying O with the sound of awe. So whenever this came, he used to say awe. And there I realized that yes, it's working. It was magical. The first time seeing your child who's like barely 9-10 months to point out a letter of English alphabet and saying oh, it's nice. Then I continued the journey like that. I used to spend 5 minutes in front of him doing these flashcards. There were other also, but there are other things also, other flashcards also, but this was the main core lesson, I would say, at that point. So by the time he was 1, he knew. He couldn't speak, he couldn't say all the sounds, but he knew all the letter sounds. He could easily, like once like if I ask him to identify, give me a, he would give me this A flashcard. So now again there is this Japanese technique, which is my step 2, which I'm going to reveal in this video. When we have flashcards or anything of this sort, no, we think that we should go slow, we should give the child some space and time to think and respond to it. But in this case, I used to do it very fast, like really fast. A, b, k, d, e, f. Why? Now there is something called photographic memory. That's the reason why these flashcards are made. So people use flashcards in schools and institutions, in preschools, but they don't actually know the reason of the way how to use a flashcard. The flashcard, as the name suggests, it has to be flashed. It has to be really quick. It has to come and go. Why? Because there are certain parts of the brain which get instantly activated. They become alert, and it really helps develop photographic memory in kids. So once I flash a, b, k in front of the child, some portion of the brain gets activated and is alert, that he's waiting for the next thing to come. But if we do it slow, then we are allowing him to, be relaxed. I mean, the way uh, screens work, they kind of make your brain, some cells or some portion of the brain numb, so they are constantly engrossed in this screen, and the activity inside your brain is not happening, so the right kind of stimulation is actually not happening while you're watching screen. So this is just the opposite. The brain is so alert that it's expecting the next thing to come really fast. So this does, helps in two things. One is to keep the brain active, and while learning, the brain is expecting more. So it is developing a habit right from a very early age to expect more, to know more, to get more, to ask for more. So it builds in that curiosity. Number one. Number two is, like I said, it builds photographic memory. So once you get into it doesn't happen obviously if you do it like once in a week or twice in a week, or say once in a blue moon you're doing. No, it doesn't. Then it doesn't help. If you are really serious about it, if you really want your child to read at an early age, and I think that's a beautiful gift we can give our children. No, it's wonderful to see your 2.5 year old child, like Abhi read his first book at 2.5 years old, when he was 2.5 years old. So the photographic memory that he develops, that the child develops at this early age of his life, it's going to be so much of help in the coming years of his life, right? His memory is going to be sharper, and I mean there are multiple advantages to it. Now, once the child masters this letter sounds, coming back to how we take this reading thing forward, flashcards, creating, and it's very simple. I just used some index cards and wrote these letters, and I just laminated them so that it's more durable and I can use it for longer period. Now my third concept, my third step or secret, whatever you call it, the third point is to make the child learn the smaller case letters before they learn the uppercase letter. Now this is again very different from what schools and the traditional way of learning and teaching follows. So I'll tell you why this works. Because when we see a book, you can just try it yourself. Just pick up a book and see. I mean, they come across smaller case letter more often than the uppercase letters, right? So once they know their letter sounds, and they can associate those sounds with these images, it's beautiful when they see a book and they can identify a letter. So if I'm not mistaken, Abir at 1 year and 2 months or something, he used to pick up any random book and used to identify the letter sounds. And it, number one, it gives them so much of confidence, it boosts their morale. Even children need some sort of encouragement, and that works as an encouragement for them. They feel so updated, they feel that they are up to the mark, and they are and your reaction give them more inspire them even more. So, and they wait for that reaction, they wait for that sort of encouragement and sort of praise from you. So that one thing, being able to see those smaller letters more often and identifying them give them a booster to learn even more. And the second thing is that they come across these letters more often. So it's better that they know the bigger chunk of the whole business before than the smaller one. So most of our sentences are, they are 90% of it is lowercase letters. So the third step is teach them the lowercase letters before you teach them the uppercase letters. Again, the one big reason for starting it very early, as early as 10 to 11 month old, is in India, in our country, most of us we send our kids to, we don't homeschool our kids completely. We send them to schools, and mostly schools are following the traditional method of teaching, which is apple, B, ball, right? So by the time they reach school and you have started teaching them this new technique, they sort of get confused on which one to follow. So if you start early at say 9 or 10 months, by the time they are eligible for school, they are of that age, 2.5 or 3, they know all their letter sounds. They know the difference between the smaller case letters and the uppercase and the lowercase letters, and they know their letter sounds, and they have, some of them may or may not identify or associate those letters with the words they see around. So if you start working early, the concepts will get clearer. Then comes the next part, which is the most difficult, and there I see a lot of parents kind of, after following these 3 methods, this takes a lot of time. This you have to be consistent for, this has to be daily. I used to do it twice a day for 5 to 10 minutes, not more than that. And one more thing I used to follow was, when I used to show him these set of flashcards, I used to make sure that he's not distracted. There's eye-to-eye contact with me and my child. There's no one allowed around, and there's no other distraction like a TV or a phone or a friend or family member, whom he can look at. Because otherwise, that whole thing of flashing it, the whole purpose gets dissolved. So that connection, that physical one-on-one connection has to be built, and you have to make sure that while doing it there's no distraction around, and then you start doing it, and you do it daily for 5 to 10 minutes. I am so sure that it's going to give you magical results. It's not something that happens overnight, but it works for sure. Now, after you achieve this, for those who want to start, who are starting a little late, there's nothing called late. You can still do it. They are spending time in school for half an hour or an hour mostly. But you are the one, the parents are the one who are spending most of the time with their kids. So you can actually make use of the time you spend with your child. So go ahead and don't wait for anything. Just start doing this as a regular process, and I'm 200% sure that it's going to give you results. The next bit is a tricky one, I must say. That's the letter blending part, where you teach them to form words out of these letter sounds. So I'll show you something. So what I have done here is, so once they know these letter sounds, I think it's a selfie video. So this is her, H-A-T. So once they know their letter sounds, H, A, T, they have to learn to blend these 3. Now there are 2 ways of doing it. Either you take the first two letters and make them blend these two, and this one becomes the ending of the word. So you say act. So definitely this is going to be the, I'm talking only about the consonant vowel consonant words which they can sound out using phonetics. So this is the fourth rule of phonetics that I'm telling you here. So once they know act, they have to learn to call it as hat. It's very simple for us. It seems very simple for us, but imagine a 2-year-old or a 2.5-year-old child doing this. It's a task for them. They need to understand why is everyone calling her actor as hat. Why are they doing it? So we need to explain them the concept of elongating this vowel sound. So at. So start with two-letter words. One, the first one being a vowel and the second one being a consonant. So the last alphabet is where they need to put a stop mark while they pronounce it. At. So the first one is elongated. The vowel sound is elongated, and the last one is the ending sound. At. Then once they, this is again a step-by-step process. So once they know at is at, so you take all the at family words. Sorry, it's not in order. So because I used to use them for Abhi, now he knows it. Like now he reads books. He can read even, using phonetics. He's 3 right now, and using phonetics recently he just spelled out a word laptop for me, because he used lap and top. He is used to reading 3 or 4 letter words, but using phonetics, see, that's the beauty of it. So a lot of parents initially start teaching sight words to kids, but there are so many. How can you expect a child who's just struggling with the letters to memorize 3,000 words? And there are around 3,000 simple words in English language. So how can you expect a child of this age to do that? It's better that they should learn the phonetic rules, and they can easily fall back to even if they don't. There are certain sight words like the, or w. Ax is not was, it's was. So there are words which are sight words which you have to teach them. I'll do a separate video on them if you want, but the ones that follow, which are in most of the cases, 60% of your English language is based on phonetic rules. So if they master this skill, I mean, it's a win-win situation. Then you can always once they are getting used to this practice of decoding words using phonetics, you can simultaneously do some of the sight words as well, like like we say to letter A. So this is like a sight word to them, or was, like I said, the. These words do not follow the regular phonetics rule. So yeah, I mean, I would say that start with the letter sounds, number 1. Number 2, what did I say? Number 2 is flash it in front of them instead of doing it really slow. Just do it at a faster pace. Then number 3 is smaller letters, lowercase letters before uppercase letters. And then a lot of things go simultaneously. So once they are, if like you are observing that they are mastering smaller case letters, you can simultaneously move into doing A, B, C, D, E, F, G with them, so that they know the letter names as well before they go into school. So they'll know that A and A are the same things. And then comes your blending of these letters to form words. So these are the step-by-step things that I followed, and I have been doing it till now. I mean, I'm still in the process of teaching him, and there are some of the books, some publications that really help in keeping this practice going. One is the Bob series of books, which I'll link it below in one of my. I have done a video on this on one of the Bob books that my child was reading, so I'll link it below. But that comes much later. That comes after they have learned their sight words and the initial sight words and their letter sounds, and they have started to know the technique of blending. So I think I've made this video long enough. It's time to start. I mean, it's never too late. Please go ahead, and if you feel that there's any confusion, or you want me to do something specifically, or you want me to do some specific activities that I keep doing with my child around this topic, around building literacy and building vocabulary, please do let me know in the comment section. I am doing this. I'll be continuing doing this because I have seen merit in this, and earlier it was only for my own child. Then it kind of helped some of the other parents also who were struggling with their kids, and they only suggested me to kind of make this video for everyone, so that it becomes it doesn't remain a secret, so to say, and there's no need of spending so much of people shell out thousands of money to get them child to read, and they think that a YouTube video or something can make them read. No, it's only your effort. It's going to be your effort, your consistent effort, that's going to show you results. So all the best. Just start right away. Create your own flashcards. If you want, you can buy them online. I don't know, if I get some good brands, I'll link it. I'll try to link it below. But just start and just do it. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll link some of the other relevant videos in the description box, where you can get some more tips and help on how to go forward and do things. And all the very best. Please do subscribe to this channel, because now I have it's the way to keep myself motivated. I'll try and post one video every week, and just be part of my journey, because I think the energy I am getting, it's contagious, and I'm sure it's going to benefit, it's going to help a lot of you as well. Thank you so much for giving your love. Thank you so much for your trust, and just do it. Bye bye.